Welcome to the show. Are you watching the Fox Business Network? The push is now on to stop crime in cities, including federal agencies like the FBI and the DEA. The other move is to stop riots, including the use of U.S. Marshals and border officials. Rioting continues in Portland, Oregon. Rioting in cities like Portland has caused tens of millions of dollars in damage to businesses and communities nationwide. More than a dozen shot dead in these riots that have been going on for 2 months. Now, Portland's riots look anything but peaceful. Anarchists have attempted to set fire to the federal courthouses and facilities. Officers have been assaulted, blinded with laser lights, attacked with bricks, concrete nails driven into boards, and pellet guns, and also frozen water balloons thrown at them. Assaults on civilians are taking place. But Joe Biden now claims the Trump administration is, quote, brutally attacking peaceful protesters and is stoking, quote, the fires of division. Let's welcome in a Fox Business exclusive, Customs and Border Protection Acting Commissioner Mark Morgan. Mark, it's always great to have you back on the show. Commissioner, your reaction to Joe Biden here?
Yeah, Liz, look, this is unbelievable. This is just another series of talking points. The way you just described it is the truth. That's what's happened in Portland. Every single night, these criminals have taken over the protests. They meet, they organize and plan with the willful intent to destroy federal property and seriously injure federal agents. That's the truth. The federal agents are there under Title 40 U.S.C. 1315, which dictates to the secretary, not that he has a choice, that he must protect federal buildings. That's what our presence is there for. Look, to say that the presence of federal agents due to their statutory responsibility is inciting violence is ridiculous, and I don't believe the American people believe that.
Our local police are saying that rioters are embedding themselves in peaceful protests as they have been in Chicago. Is that what you're seeing?
Liz, absolutely right, and it's happening every single night for 50 nights. It starts out with some peaceful protesters, and there's this group that infiltrates that peaceful protest with that willful intent to do damage and destroy federal property. Liz, you described it. Just the past 2 nights alone, they have thrown incendiary devices into the federal courthouse with the intent to burn it to the ground with federal agents and officers inside. And they're calling those peaceful protesters? No, Liz, they're not. Those are criminals, and those are the individuals you see us going after in Portland.
Yeah, here's the thing. The Portland mayor, Ted Wheeler, was booed last night as he addressed rioters. They had posted a list of demands saying, cut the police budget in half, demanding the mayor resign. He was tear gassed with the crowd after he told them to continue to resist, and then he thanked them. And then the rioters tried to block him from entering a building. But, sir, why are Democrat mayors of 15 cities now pushing back and sending in federal law enforcement? Should they just step up and govern themselves and stop the violence? Should they just send in the police and break up the riots? Should they just do it themselves?
Yes, Liz, that's what local police departments are supposed to do. Portland is a perfect example. Now, look, I have full faith in the Portland Police Department that that's what they want to do, but the local leadership are tying their hands. Look, if the mayor would open up and let the Portland Police Department do their job, you would see this violence end overnight. But they can't. They are directed. And this mayor, not only is he tying their hands, but he's actually forbidden them, the city council, to share information with federal agents and officers that are there. That is going to result in deadly consequences when law enforcement officers do not share information. It's absolutely reckless and irresponsible.
So they're risking people's lives. Here's the thing. You know, the First Amendment says, yeah, you have a right to peacefully assemble. But, you know, to peacefully assemble, you got to get a permit and a license. That's just at minimum. I mean, these Democrat mayors are allowing rioting to go rampant when, you know, when people, other American citizens are forced to, you know, go through the ropes and get a license or a permit to even march.
Liz, that's absolutely right. Look, from the president on down to the secretary myself, we absolutely support everyone's God-given constitutional right to peacefully protest. Absolutely. And I will stand and I will send our agents and officers to defend that right. But the moment you put a weapon in your hand, an incendiary device, a sledgehammer, a brick, a laser to intentionally harm a federal officer, you have transitioned to a protester to a criminal. And I don't care where you're at. You don't have to be on federal property for us to go and arrest you when you have done that. And that's what we're doing.
Commissioner Sharon Powell, she's the mother of Legend Taliaferro. Operation Legend is named after, as you know, named after her 4-year-old son who was murdered, shot and killed in Kansas City. I'd like you to take a listen to what this mother has to say. Watch.
It is to help investigate unsolved murders, and which one of those happened to be our innocent 4-year-old son. This operation is personal to us. We want justice for our son and others.
You know, Mark, the protests have been about, the deaths of minorities in police custody. President Trump has moved to stop that, so have Republicans in Congress. The president is now trying to stop the deaths of minorities with street violence and gang shootings and inner city violence. So how come the Democrats are silent about that and are opposed to that?
Look, I've been in law enforcement list for 30 years. The only conclusion I have, they're putting politics over public safety. This president, once again, has showed the American people that he puts the protection of American lives first, and that's what he's doing. And I think it's important to make a distinction between what's happening in Portland and Chicago. Portland is a very narrow set of circumstances where criminals are targeting federal building. In Chicago, we're talking about increase over violence. So he's sending additional federal agents to really envelop into federal task forces that are already there to work federal crimes, to that mother of her 4-year-old child to do exactly what she said to do, is to solve violent crime so that hopefully people can walk their baby in a stroller and not be a fear that they're going to die from a stray bullet. That's what this president is doing.
Commissioner, just one final question. Media criticism. Sure. There's some criticism that federal officials are wearing camouflage uniforms that makes them look like soldiers, and they're not wearing identifying patches to distinguish what agency they're coming from. Your reaction to that?
First of all, I can't believe we're actually talking about the color of a law enforcement uniform rather than the criminals that are bringing weapons to hurt those law enforcement officers. And then the last point is, with respect to insignia, that's just a lie, Liz. It's an absolute lie. CBP officers, at a minimum, wear 6 pieces of separate identification. Bright yellow police on the front, patches on either shoulder that shows the unit that they're assigned to, that they're assigned to CBP. They even have the specific patch that actually, with the letter and number, identifies who that agent specifically is. One last thing real quick, but I've authorized them to remove their names because the same criminals are trying to injure them, they're actually doxing them and their family and trying to get people to go to their homes. That's disgusting.
So they're putting, stay with me, they're putting these federal officials' information, personal information, out on the internet. It's called doxing. Is that what's going on?
Yes, ma'am. And look, and so while these agents are deployed in Portland, doing what they're asked to do, that I've sent them there to do, their families back home, they're not with them. They're actually being doxxed and encouraging people to go to their homes. That's outrageous. We should all be united that that is wrong.